again, welcome back to my channel. Today's a twofer. It's Mixed Media Frenzy. This is the sketch that the group for the Mixed Media gals are using today, and also day 22 of Baby Got Scraps, a scrappy inspiration YouTube and Instagram hop. So let's dive right in. All right, so I did go ahead and gesso that is a white thick piece of cardstock. I am going to load it up. Now obviously the sketch called for it coming from the side. Mine is kind of going to be top to bottom, and my photos are a lot bigger so they don't go in a row. I have yet to be able to stay on track with a mixed media sketch. Has anybody else noticed that? Like, all the other layouts that I create using a sketch, like, I can stay pretty close to it, but I start getting mixed media on there, and I'm like, forget everything about the sketch. Anyway, so I am pulling out my Brutus Monroe glitter glazes, and I am going to mess with this one real quick because I also put the Glad Press and Seal onto all of my little jars of mixed media just to help them from drying out, and that one was quite large. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe each one of these down. Now, as you know, the glitter glaze goes on milky and a little dull, but when it dries, oh goodness. And I just have a cheapo, that is actually a silicone foundation applicator, and I'm just using it for this purpose. Now the colors that I am using, the first one there is the glitter glaze in raspberry, and I'm going to do a rainbow. So then we move to the glitter glaze in scarlet. Then I'm going to pull out the glitter glaze in tangerine, and the biggest strip is going to be in the tangerine, and that's because it was such a pretty color. And I wanted to make sure that my glitter glazes spanned across the page, but I really like the tangerine color, and I don't use orange enough, and it is, believe it or not, one of my favorite colors. So after the tangerine, we're going to come in with green, and that color is the emerald. And then we have the blue, which will be berry, and then purple, which is grape. And I just get those on there. Now, I am putting, I wouldn't say it's a thick layer, but it's not really thin either. And I do keep coming back. I want you to be able to see the lines. Like, I'm not trying to blend them together. I'm just trying to get them as close as possible. And because the raspberry and the scarlet were similar color palette type thing there, they were both smaller bands than the other. And I'm just wiping off my brush in between, or my little silicone scraper there in between each one. Instead of paper towels, excuse me, I use just rags basically, and so that I can wash them, and then when obviously they get chunky, I can, dispose of them. But I don't really dispose of them that much, to be honest. Like, washing them, I just saving on environment, right? Oh, look at that. It's like, when it's dry, it is beautiful. I almost did not want to cover it up. Now, this grape one is the only one that actually, like, colors the page as well. Like, you'll see that when it's dry, the white paper doesn't show through. It stains it purple, which is totally fine. All right, so I'm going to push that to the side and let it dry. I do come back in because I wanted to add I wanted to get a real nice layer of the tangerine on there. I love this stuff. I must have every color. That is my mission. All right, so I am going to go ahead and use my dies today, right? Boop, boop. And I'm going to create the circles. And I did pull out, these are the scraps now that I've pulled out. So I have my 12 by 12. And then I just went through my 12 by 12 Ziploc bag, the only bag I have remaining, and pulled out some scraps. Since it is mixed media, I wanted to add just a little bit more mixed media. So I went through all my sprays, and I grabbed 2 Dina Winkleys. One is magenta and one is cheddar. So that was the first and second one I used. That's magenta. And that was cheddar. And then I'm going to pull out the Heidi Swapp Color Shine. And that one is, I believe, mustard. And then we're going to do the green, which I have no idea. I think it starts with a P. Patina or something like that. Then I grab the blue, which is in Ocean. And the purple, which is like a lavender no, the purple, which is crushed grape from the Delusions ink. And I just splatter those on each corresponding color just to give it just a little bit more. Then I do have to pull in because I don't have a red spray bottle of mixed media. So, but that's okay because I have shimmer brushes. So I just grab my Close to My Heart shimmer brush in I believe that one is in Scarlet. And I just grab my paintbrush and squeeze some on my block, and then I use it all up and get it all nice and down on the page. Now I do put that to the side and let it dry for just a minute. Not very long though. All right, so I did all my die cutting off screen, and I'm going to go ahead and mat my photos that I circled out as well on that I die cut. I die cut them into shapes, which is not something that we do very often anymore in scrapbooking. I remember back in the day, all your pictures were like fussy cut it out, right? So I do just mat them, and this is, I did not mean to print my pictures in black and white, but my color ink cartridge that I just received, yeah, okay, check this one out. It didn't work. So, yeah, it didn't work. So I had to send it back to Insta Ink, and they are sending me another one. But I waited forever. But that was my fault because I used up a whole ink cartridge in one day, guys. I received it and then started printing Christmas pictures and, yeah, used it all up. Like, wow, I had a lot of pictures there. So that is pretty much, since they can't go into a band because my pictures are a lot bigger, and if I would have cut them any smaller, it would have really it would have taken away from the picture. So these are Christmas Day, December 25th. We had, well, instead of going anywhere, obviously for the COVID, we stayed home and decided, we went and he got his daughter, and obviously my son was there and the dogs. And we had from 9 o'clock in the morning until about midnight, we had family fun day, and we played games, we did video games, we did board games, we played cards, we did raffles, where every time that you won something, you won a scratch-off ticket, and we bought $100 worth of dollar scratch-off tickets, and then at the end of the night, we scratched them all off. And yes, we bought $100 worth of scratch-offs and won 22. Wow. Yay, right? But it was fun because the kids really had fun, and it kept them like entertained and wanting to pay attention to us, which if you guys got teenagers or kids of any age, pretty much, because they're always on their phone and they weren't allowed to do that. But yeah, we had so much fun, and they were super excited. So I love anytime I can get my 19-year-old and 15-year-old involved in any kind of activity that involves their parents. So I'm just taking all the rest of these die cut circles, and I just layered them up on my Big Shot and cut them out all together so that they created the small banners instead of circles, right? And I'm layering them up underneath each one of the photos. That is what the sketch kind of called for. It kind of had like the same design principle there. Obviously, you can kind of see where I got the idea that the inspiration was the sketch, but totally rogue. You know, I got to work on that because the sketches are and the scrap lists we do are so gorgeous. But then I get going and I just keep adding. I need to know when to stop. Now I do come in and put in this is the only circle that I actually had, and that was the very last one. So I'm going to add one of those to each of the pictures, and then I forget that I turned the recorder off, and I add one more circle around that as well. I do not do a lot of embellishments because the whole point of it was the mixed media, right? Now I did find this thicker, and it's a word thicker, and it's like the last one that I have, and what is it from? I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it's at. It is glittery, and it is gold, and it said, there's a whole bunch of them. Oh, here it is. There's a whole bunch of them, and I don't know. It's Thickers American Crafts, and it's just the family thickers, and it just says Family Gathering. So I hardly ever use the pre-made thicker titles. So anyway, it worked, and I get that stuck on there, and I do use liquid adhesive for everything else because a lot of mixed media on this. I get that stuck down, and then I'm going to come in with these cute little, they're kind of like a checkered print you'll be able to see in the close-ups, and I just match the colors to the background color and just sprinkle those around a bit, and that is pretty much going to do it for this layout. Now I am going to go ahead and journal, and I do journal right underneath the photo of me and my dogs, and it just says our family Christmas photos before the games began. And I just write that right under in a little black pen. But yeah, that is going to be it for the layout. So I do want to remind you that today is 2 hops. It is the Mixed Media Frenzy hop. So don't forget to go down below in the description box and check out all those ladies that used this sketch today. We have a new member. I do want to welcome Rebecca Moore to the group. So go ahead and give her some love along with all my other mixed media friends. And it's also the Baby Got Scraps inspiration hop, so they will be listed down below as well. Don't forget to go check them out and see what they're doing with their scraps. We're only allowed to use one 12 by 12 and the rest scraps. And that's going to do it. So here are the close-ups, and look at that mixed media. Oh, just so much fun glitter. I love it. All right, well, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and I've been on YouTube posting for 1 year today. Thank you guys. Much love to you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.